plan or contacting your office to getting the treatment plan done and to making sure they're in good health. Now that whole process, there's a lot of variables in between, and you have to grease, so you have to make it simple for them the entire way. And that's the variables I look at. From those inquiries, what are they saying, what are they doing, all the way down to sitting in a chair. Not many companies actually look at that whole process. They'll send out 10,000 flyers and they don't track the call, so no one knows who's calling. And then when they do call, whether they're booking or not, no, we need the whole process to be managed. Another one is force multiplier. Force multiplier. Now there's two components to that. Force multiplier is a military term, which means you're coming at the enemy from all different angles with the same force. You're just some tanks coming in here and then army guys coming in there. It's an old military term that we can use for marketing. And in the world of marketing, we won't consider, of course, not an enemy, but we will consider the person that's sitting there that needs some health, that needs health care for their mouth. We want to make sure that they're persuaded properly, that they go forward with the treatment. So you want to make sure that your hygiene is telling them, you're telling them, the front desk is telling them, they're getting letters telling them, postcards. They're constantly being reinforced that they should be going forward with the treatment that they need. That's internally. Externally, force multiplier. Now this is an advanced strategy, but if you have enough money, you can take advantage of the fallacy, the logical fallacy that people have, which is if they see you everywhere, they automatically think that you're the best. And it's bad business to say you're the best, but if people think you're the best, that's their own conclusion, not yours. And just by having you in billboards, buy up all the marketing all around you, you'll be flooded with patients. But that's advanced, and that's only after you've boosted your production and you've gotten a lot of extra money in the bank. You can try something like that. Certainly, if you're number one, you're going to be on top. I wouldn't need to settle for number 2 or number 3. You have to be number 1. That means the most heavily marketed person in your area. Real estate people do this, and guess who gets all the calls when people want to sell their house? It's the person that's dominating the market with marketing on the billboards, getting the mail piece every month, getting a phone call, and that kind of thing. The final one to sell more cases and to increase your case acceptance is it's a verbal technology. So the way you speak to your patient, again, it's a process. And you have to acknowledge all the certain things that are going on in their mind at the same time. And the process is called neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP. It's sort of a mishmash of psychological tools that have come in light in the last 40 years or so. There's been a massive number of breakthroughs in consumer behavior, in social psychology, that really translate into how to really effectively grow your sales or grow your marketing or anything like that, or motivate or persuade people a lot easier than people thought of it before. We've come a long way, and in the last 40 years or so, we've made such a huge stride in that direction. And one of those tools is, of course, NLP. So NLP is a collection of verbal technologies that allow you to sort of penetrate the normal resistances that people have and align with them, build their motivation, change their state. So if they were fearful before, they're going to be excited now, and so on. And if they were fearful before, they're going to be excited now. And you want them to be excited when you're about to close them, when you're about to say, how are you going to go forward with this? You want them to be in an excited state, because if they're in a fearful state, they're going to leave. However, with that said, if they're in a fearful state, you should provide solutions so that they'll get out of the fearful state. Anyway, that's a topic for advanced psychology, for how you market to them. But for now, just realize that when you're presenting cases to people, there's a verbal technology out there called NLP. So in the realm of that kind of psychology, there's people doing pioneering that, and one is Dr. Eric Knowles. He's doing a lot of work in resistance and persuasion. These days, people are always being persuaded to do something. However, a lot of what times what's happening, and people are still motivated, a lot of times what happens is that it's resistance that people put up. It's ambivalence, what they call. They want to do something, but they go through a certain mental process whereby it prevents them from doing anything usually, and that's common of today's society. That never used to be. One of those situations is too much choice, as Dr. Schwartz here talks about, and it's having too much choice means that everyone talks about, oh, I should have all these choices, but having too much choice means that people shut down. Having no choices means people shut down. So there's a happy medium there, and there's all about that. Thankfully, you don't have to read all that, because I'm going to summarize it. And I also incorporate that into the marketing. Because what's amazing is that there's companies out there, big dental companies out there, that aren't taking advantage of the latest information in market research, in consumer research, in psychology, and cognitive behavior, and incorporating that into making bigger gains. I mean, it doesn't cost anything to change a script around. All it costs is time and a little bit of training. Another tool is the NLP that I was talking about, of course, highlighted in one of the most groundbreaking books that I could ever imagine, is Sleight of Mouth. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's similar to a magician, how they're sleight of hand, it's sleight of mouth. So a lot of people will have beliefs. Oh, it costs too much. Well, that's a belief. It costs too much. There's some mental processes that are going on at the point when someone says that, whether it's a reaction, a fight or flight reaction, whether it's a real belief, whether that belief can be completed, such as it costs too much because of what, and how to align with that belief and overcome it. And of course, I've simplified all that down into a very specific script that you can use to sell more treatment. So that's a good one. I want to thank you for listening. I had a lot of fun working on this video for you, and I hope you had fun too. So stay tuned for the next video, which is how to get double or more results out of your existing marketing. If you enjoyed this information and would like to receive 15 free videos of the top questions and answers dentists ask about dental marketing, increasing patients, production and profits, and practice management, please visit www.doubleyourpracticenow.com or dypnow.com.
I recommend Paul to whoever wants to increase their production and patients. Thank you.
I look forward to continually working with him on cosmetic cases.
I can wholeheartedly recommend Paul
definitely
Special,
recommend him to anyone.
a marketing manager and consultant for
highly
dentists.
recommend Paul for any dentist who wants to increase.
If you're looking for new
flow
patients, if you're looking to take your practice to the next level, I think definitely sitting down with Anello Solutions and Paul and seeing what he can do for you. And I would gladly recommend him highly to any